Hello everyone, so we are back with another set of video, and this time we are having the previous year questions of Aldol and Cannizzaro reaction that includes the previous years of CBSE boards, NEET and JEE mains. So just before these questions, I would like to inform you that I have already uploaded the videos of Aldol and Cannizzaro reaction. So before solving these questions, please do have a look at these two reaction videos, and afterwards only then try to solve all of these questions. First try it yourself, pause the video, try it for a second and then look at the solution, right? So just read these two reactions before actually doing into the questions, and then we'll be discussing the questions. So let us jump on to our first question of the day, and this question is of the CBSE boards 2022, and it is asking you to write the products in the following reaction that is given to you. So firstly, we have discussed two types of reaction, which are Aldol and Cannizzaro reaction. Now here, how to identify which reaction is going to take place over here. So just keep your eyes closed, and here undoubtedly the reaction would be Cannizzaro reaction. So how I was able to identify? By looking at this reagent, that is concentrated NaOH. So in the Cannizzaro reaction we discussed that the reagent that we need to use is the concentrated base. So here concentrated is very strong, so here we are making use of concentrated NaOH, which means that it is definitely going to be Cannizzaro reaction. Now we have to see that what kind of Cannizzaro reaction is going to take place, self Cannizzaro or cross Cannizzaro. So here if you look at the substrate that is given, so 2 moles of benzaldehyde is given, so which means that similar type of molecules are provided to us, and we have to tell the products. So firstly you have identified that it is a Cannizzaro reaction by looking at the reagent as well as the substrate. So in the substrate here, this is your alpha carbon and this contains 0 alpha hydrogen. So therefore, for Cannizzaro reaction to occur, there must be no alpha hydrogen that should be present in our compound. So in Cannizzaro reaction, we get two different type of products. First is the oxidized product and second is the reduced product. So here, if I talk about the oxidized product, so it will be the sodium salt of my carboxylic acid, which is COO negative Na plus. We talked about it already that it does not exist as the acid but instead as the salt. So this is your sodium benzoate plus your reduced product. So basically this CHO would be getting oxidized to its acid salt and its alcohol, that is CH2OH. So this is nothing but your benzyl alcohol, right? And this is your sodium benzoate. So these are the two different kind of products that you are going to get in this reaction. So I hope you would be able to understand how we are proceeding towards the Cannizzaro reaction. First you need to identify what kind of reaction is going to take place, and afterwards once you have identified, you need to write the products, right? So you can see how simple CBSE board question is asking in the exams. So it is directly taken out from your NCERT. Okay. Next is the question of NEET 2021. So just pause the video for a second and try it yourself and then look at the solution. So firstly, it is asking us how many molecules will not undergo aldol condensation. See, this is quite a common mistake which I see students often do, is that they do not understand this not. You have to read the question very carefully and you have to answer that which of the following will not undergo. So for aldol condensation, we studied that what is the prerequisite for aldol condensation to occur, that there must be the presence of alpha hydrogen, right? So here the compound which is not going to undergo aldol condensation reaction will not contain alpha hydrogen. So you have to tick mark that option which does not contain alpha hydrogen, right? So if I talk about this molecule, so here in this molecule, if you can see that there are 6 alpha hydrogen which are present. So this is one alpha carbon and this is another alpha carbon which is alpha dash. So both of them are containing 3 hydrogens each. So here it is containing 6 alpha hydrogen, which means that it can definitely undergo aldol condensation reaction. So this is my incorrect option, right? Next, if I talk about CH3CHO, so here this is my functional group and this is my alpha carbon. So alpha carbon is the one which is attached adjacent to my functional group carbon. So basically here it is containing 3 alpha hydrogens because 3 hydrogens are attached, so it can also undergo aldol condensation reaction. So therefore this would be also incorrect. Next, if I talk about the third option, so in the third option that is provided to us, it is saying that CH3, CH2, CHO. So here this is your functional group and this is your alpha carbon. So in the alpha carbon there are 2 hydrogens which are attached, so it means that 2 alpha hydrogens are attached, right? So therefore this will also undergo aldol condensation reaction and this would be also incorrect. Lastly, we have HCHO. So HCHO is nothing but your formaldehyde, and here it does not contain any alpha carbon, and if there is no alpha carbon then there is no point of alpha hydrogen. So therefore it won't undergo aldol condensation reaction and hence this would be the correct option, right? So only HCHO will be the one which will not undergo the aldol condensation reaction. Alright, so I hope this question was clear to you. You just need to look at the prerequisites that are required for aldol condensation reaction. Let's move on to our next question, and this next question is basically of JEE Mains 2021, and this is quite a good question, and even if you don't know how to solve it, you just need to see the stability of the compounds that are given in the options. So basically here one substrate is given to you and some of the reagents are given to you and you have to find the major product. Alright, there are possibilities of multiple products, but it is asking you the major product. So let us try, pause this video for a minute and try it yourself, only then look at the solution. So here firstly it is taking alcoholic QH. Let me help you to identify what kind of reaction is going to take place over here. So KOH is your base and alcoholic QH is not quite a strong base, right? So here if you can see that there are 3 double bond O present. First is this, second is this, and third is this. So basically 3 carbonyl groups are present, which means that there is a possibility of the carbonyl reactions, right? Now KOH is a base and we have studied that in the presence of base there are 2 type of possibilities. First is that Cannizzaro reaction can occur and second is what? Aldol condensation can occur. Usually in aldol condensation reaction our second step, that is H plus, work up and followed by heat. So basically here the second step indicates that here condensation reaction is going to take place, which confirms us to the fact that here aldol condensation reaction is going to take place, right? So here by looking at the reagent and the substrate, you have to figure out the possibilities that what we can use in the reaction to find the product, right? So first is base, and the base is also not the concentrated base, right? So therefore we can have the possibility of aldol reaction, and the second step, that is work up and heat, that we usually use in the aldol condensation reaction. So that confirms us to the fact that here loss of water is going to take place in the second step, which means that aldol condensation reaction is going to take place. Now how aldol condensation reaction? First you need to look at the alpha hydrogen possibilities. So this is basically your carbonyl compound, and here this is your alpha carbon, and similarly this is also your alpha carbon. To this alpha carbon 3 hydrogens are attached, and to this alpha carbon 2 hydrogens are attached, right? So you have identified 5 different type of alpha hydrogen that are present. Next if I talk about this, so this is the alpha carbon that is present, right? So in this case what happens is this is already bonded to 4 things, right? So this carbon is already having the valency 4, therefore it is not containing any of the hydrogen. So this position has 0 alpha hydrogen. Alright, next if I talk about this position, so basically this is my alpha position to this carbonyl group, and this is my second alpha position, that is this and this, right? So basically it is having 2 alpha hydrogen. I'm talking about this carbonyl compound, right? Now we have identified the different type of alpha hydrogens, and the only thing that we need to figure out over here is that which alpha hydrogen we need to take out so that we can form the product, right? So basically here, if I take this hydrogen out, then a negative charge would be formed at this position, and this position, basically this is an example of intramolecular aldol condensation reaction, intramolecular reaction that takes place within the same molecule. Okay, so basically here you have to find the nucleophile and the electrophile in the same substrate. Okay, so here the first option that is given to provided to us over here basically involves the formation of a bridge compound, right? So we know that bridge compounds are extremely unstable in nature, and whenever you see this kind of option or possibility, you just need to rule it out directly. So this won't be our correct option, right? So bridge products are highly unstable compounds and they do not get formed very easily, so therefore you can directly cut it out. Okay, so here this bridge compound was forming due to the removal of this hydrogen, right? Because here this is going to be at the bridge position then. Okay, now if I talk about the second possibility, that here if I talk about that, what if I remove this hydrogen? Okay, let me just draw it more clearly so you can have a better understanding. First you need to rule out the possibilities, and after ruling out the possibilities you just need to see that here what is the kind of product that you are expecting. So OH negative would come out, and basically it will abstract this proton, and this will get shifted here, and you will be getting a negative charge. So this is the kind of intermediate that you are expecting in this case, double bond O negative, this is CHO, and this is double bond O. Now you have to look out for the electrophilic position. So this is the electrophilic position, right? This carbonyl carbon is electrophilic in nature. So basically this would attack over here and the electron density will be shifting towards here. So if you will see that here basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, a 6-membered ring is getting formed if I remove this hydrogen out. The next possibility, what if I remove this hydrogen, right? So basically if I talk about the second possibility, therefore I mentioned in the beginning that here you have to tell the major product. There are a lot of possibilities in this case. You need to check which one is the major one. Okay, so here this is CHO, this is double bond O, and again here there is double bond O. What if I remove hydrogen from this position? So a negative charge would be created over here, and this would attack on another electrophilic carbon, which is this, similar to the one we have discussed just now. So here if you'll see 1, 2, 3, 4. So basically a 4-member ring is getting formed, and we know that 6-member ring are more stable as compared to 4-member ring. So the major product would be governed by this intermediate. Okay, so you have to proceed through this reaction in order to find your major product, right? So we have ruled out the possibility. This position was giving us the bridge compound, right? And bridge compounds are highly unstable, so we ruled out directly. And then we talked about the 2 type of alpha hydrogen that were present in respect to this carbonyl position, and then we saw that since 6-member ring are more stable as compared to 4-member ring, so that will be our major product. So let's move on to our product. What is going to happen in the next step? Here you have basically drawn a 6-member ring now. This is your intramolecular aldol reaction. So we'll be directly writing this as here. So you can just number it for your convenience. Okay. So this is O negative. Since the electron density has shifted towards it, this is CHO. And basically at 6th position, this was your 2nd position, and this was your 1st position, and this was your 6th position, right? And this was 5, 4 and 3. Okay, so now this O negative, in the second step what it is given, that it would react with H plus, this O negative would react with H plus and you will be getting OH, and in the next step condensation is going to occur. So here this is double bond O, this is OH and this is CHO, right? Now you have to figure out the product. So how you are going to figure out the product? You have to just eliminate this OH and you have to form the alpha beta unsaturated compound. So here if you look at the options that is provided to you, that here in this case a 6-member ring is formed, right? And basically the point of attachment is through only one carbon atom. But in the solution that we have written over here, what is going to happen? Here the point of attachment is through 2 carbon atoms, that is this and this, right? So this option is incorrect. Similarly, if I talk about C, so here C looks quite similar to what we have drawn over here, and this represents the alpha beta unsaturated carbonyl compound, right? So therefore here after this OH is formed, this OH would leave out, and here the hydrogen that is given to us, that will eliminate out, and you will be left is with the product, that is your alpha beta unsaturated compound double bond O. This is alpha, this is beta and this is CHO. Okay, so this is the product that is going to form. So the correct option would be my C part. Similarly, you can rule out for the D part also, because here a 4-member ring is formed and that would be formed if you have removed this hydrogen. So this was your minor product. So here in the question, since major product is asked, therefore a 4-member ring would be the minor one. So therefore this option is ruled out and hence it is also the incorrect one. So the correct option would be my C part. Alright, so this was an example of intramolecular aldol condensation reaction. You need to identify the various possibilities of removing the alpha hydrogen, and then you have to look at the stability which is going to form. Alright, so I hope you understood this question. Let us now move on to our next question. So this is also a previous year question of JEE mains only, and here also reaction sequence is given and you have to identify which are the product X and Y respectively. Okay, so here if I talk about, first you need to identify what kind of reaction is going to take place, since there are a lot of reactions in organic chemistry. So we need to remember the substrate and reagent for each one of them, and then we have to proceed accordingly. So basically here if I talk about, we have taken 2 moles of the same compound which is treated with dilute NaOH. See, this is a carbonyl compound, and carbonyl compound in the presence of dilute base. Dilute base indicates that aldol reaction is going to take place, which is again confirmed by the second step, which is the condensation step. So basically it is H plus in the presence of heat, which means that aldol condensation reaction is going to take place in this reaction. Now this is also easy as compared to what we have done just now. So since you have taken 2 moles of the same compound, what you need to do is, this is an example of intermolecular aldol condensation reaction, which is happening between 2 molecules, right? So what is going to happen in the first step, the base will come over here, and since this is symmetrical in nature, so it will abstract one of the alpha hydrogen that are present. So this is the alpha hydrogen, right? Once it has abstracted the alpha hydrogen, a carbon ion would be formed like this, and the another molecule of the same substrate will come up, that is this, and it will attack on the position, that is the electrophilic carbonyl carbon position, and the electron density will be seen shifting towards oxygen, right? So in the next step what is going to happen, this is double bond O, this position is getting attached to this position which looks like this, and this becomes your O negative, right? Now in the next step what is going to happen, H plus is going to attack on this, but first let us have a look at the X molecule. So we have to identify X. So in X we know that the compound that we are forming is of this kind, right? So we have eliminated one option, that is our C part, because it is double bond O. So double bond O would not be formed, and we have three options, that is A, B and C. Okay. Now you can directly rule out the options also and find out the answer, because here in the Y product you are going to form the alpha beta unsaturated compound, and there is only one alpha beta unsaturated option that is provided to you, which is this. So basically this is your alpha and this is your beta. This is your alpha beta unsaturated compound. Here two double bonds are given, so two double bonds are not formed, so therefore this option would be incorrect. And similarly here this is not alpha beta unsaturated compound, so this option would also be incorrect. So the correct option would be my A part. But let us have a look at it so that it becomes easy for you to understand. Basically this was OH, right? Now what is going to happen, since we need to form the alpha beta unsaturated compound, so one hydrogen from here and this OH will leave out and H2O will be removed, right? And once this is removed, you will be left with your alpha beta unsaturated carbonyl compound, which is this. So basically here this is alpha beta unsaturated compound. With respect to this carbonyl group, you have to see the alpha and beta position, and since this is conjugating in nature, so this is highly stable, right? So here the correct option would be my A part. Okay, so I hope you understood this question. Let us now move on to the last question of the day, which is predict the products of the following reaction, also tell the name of the reaction. So this is also from CBSE boards, and this is also the one of the same questions that I have discussed in my videos wherein I was teaching the Cannizzaro reaction. So this is basically a type of cross-Cannizzaro reaction. So in cross-Cannizzaro reaction, what happens is we take two different molecules which do not contain alpha hydrogen. So here basically alpha hydrogen are absent, right? So here, due to the absence of alpha hydrogen, we take cross-Cannizzaro reaction in the presence of CONC-NaOH. So here what happens is one of the product is oxidized product and one of the product is the reduced product. So now the question arises, which one of them is oxidized and which one of them is reduced. So we saw that the more electrophilic one, which is more electron deficient, basically gets oxidized. And the oxidized form of aldehyde is acid. So basically here sodium salt of carboxylic acid is going to form, right? And the less electrophilic one would be reduced, and basically here the alcohol would be formed, right? So here if I talk about HCHO, so in HCHO no group is present, right? Whereas in benzaldehyde this benzene group is present, which is basically plus I in nature, so it is donating electron density, and here the carbonyl carbon is less electrophilic in nature as compared to this carbonyl carbon, which is more electrophilic in nature. So this you can conclude out from GOC, and since this is more electrophilic in nature, therefore it will get oxidized into the sodium salt of carboxylic acid, which is sodium carboxylate, plus the benzyl alcohol, which is CH2OH, which is my reduced product. So this is basically my reduced product and this is my oxidized product. Okay, so this was the answer of this question. So I hope you understood all of the questions that we have discussed in this video and the reactions, that is the Aldol reaction and the Cannizzaro reaction. If you have any doubts regarding these two reactions, feel free to reach me out in the comment section, and also do tell me which is the topic that you want to study next. Till then, happy learning, and please, in the case of any doubts, you can let me know or reach me out on my Telegram channel mentioned in the description box. Thank you and happy learning.